Good evening, everyone. My name is Sadie Sewell, and I'm working on the William Allen White reading log. The book I chose was Surviving the Applewhites. The author is Stephanie Toland, the illustrator is Lori Keller, publishers HarperCollins, copyright date 2002. It's a fiction chapter book. There's 216 pages, and the age range I would say is like age 10 and up, so a little bit older. There's two main characters in this book, Jake Simpleton and E.D. Applewhite, like the letter E period D period. And each chapter, like chapter one's about Jake's point of view on things, Jake's perspective, following what Jake thinks and his interactions. And the next chapter is about Edie, her perspective, how her conversations go. Like it just follows her as if each chapter is either dedicated to Jake or Edie, and it just kind of goes back and forth. There's no illustrations in these chapters either. But Jake is a troubled young teen, and he starts smoking cigarettes at like 10, cusses as whenever he can, as much as he wants, whenever he wants, and he finds pride in himself for being this way. He has a rumor about him that he burned down his old school, but it was just an accident that got kind of pinned on him in a bad way. But he owned it. He acted like he was responsible for it because people expected it of him. So he is just like, well, I'm just gonna own it and act like I really did do it. And then he just gets kind of kicked out from school to school. And then there's this homeschool, the Applewhites, they have this homeschool, and it gets arranged where he can go there and live with them as well. It's his last chance, and if he messes this up, he has to go to juvie, which he wants to go to juvie, so he kind of has this attitude like, I'm going to come in here, be as bad as I can be, and the Applewhites are whimsical people. They're unorganized and artsy, and they love the arts, they love theater and books and all that, except for Edie, who she's one of the Applewhite children, and she's organized and likes lists and order and doesn't like things to be out of place. And she's about Jake's age, so she is repulsed by Jake, completely repulsed. And Edie's dad, Randolph, he's like into theater and producing and directing, and so he's helping this small town put together a thing, and stuff's kind of clustery, and he can't get the right casting, and so it's just a disaster. And so then he hears Jake singing one day, and at this point Jake's already somewhat adapted, and Edie's completely repulsed by him. Everything about him disgusts her. But Randolph hears him singing one day, and he just has to have Jake in his play. Jake has to be the star. He's perfect for The Sound of Music. That was the play. And so then Jake does it, and it's kind of just even more so changing him into being who he can be, what he's capable of being, who he should be, not this angry young kid. He's beginning to evolve into this happy, talented kid, and you really get to see a change in him, and that kind of makes Edie feel worse about herself because she already feels as if she doesn't belong with her family. Then all of a sudden Jake's belonging and has this going for him, and she just thinks, well, this isn't fair. I don't even get to fit in with my family. There's no room for me on this play, etc. And then all of a sudden, things are kind of a mess, and Randolph's like, Edie, I need you. No one is more organized than you. I need you to be my stage manager. And then you kind of get to see a light up in her, because she then all of a sudden feels useful and realizes what she thinks makes her boring and ordinary makes her super qualified and saves the show, because she's able to keep everything running smoothly, where her dad's a mess and dramatic. She is not. She's calm and organized. And so in the end, the play's a success, and Jake and Edie become friends, and they both have a purpose in life, and both have a real change and are happy. It's a happy ending, and it's a wonderful story. Which the what's it called, strategy I am doing for this book is I'm going to have, because this is for older children, older grades. So I would have them write like a reflective paper over themselves, what inspires them, what gives them joy, what their favorite quality about themselves, and then I'd have them write their least favorite quality and have them figure out how that can be a positive thing, like ED, like she doesn't like that she's so organized, so she could be like the rest of her family, but in the end, the thing she disliked the most about herself ended up being wonderful and saved the show. So what you think might be your worst quality could be one of your best, or you could turn it into a positive, and I encourage them to write that. And that is it. Thank you so much.